Hey everyone, it's Rohan here, back with another video. The iPhone 16 has been out for a little while now, and it's generally been well received. But the main star of the show for this generation has been the camera control. It aims to change how we think about photo composition and capturing more cinematic video. Now, when a change like this occurs, it causes case manufacturers to have to completely retool their cases. With this generation, most companies did the quick solution of just creating a cutout where your finger can easily reach the camera control button. But now it's been a few months and case manufacturers have caught up and started to build cases specifically designed for this generation. So in today's video, I have 3 cases from 3 fairly well-known brands. I'm going to talk about the design, their features, and tell you which one of these is my favorite. Let's jump right into it. First up, we have the Limitless 6.0 from Mous. Now, if you haven't heard of Mous, they make all sorts of everyday carry and phone accessories, but a majority of their business is still in phone cases. Getting to the case, I got it in this carbon fiber texture, and it has a really soft touch to it. Along the bottom, they have a bit of branding with their logo mark, and next to the camera cutout, they have their icon. One thing I would have liked to see is the branding blend in better with the rest of the case, so maybe a gray or a black. On the inside, Mous has added a soft touch material, and it's got this really cool pattern of the MagSafe rings. So let's go ahead and pop in a phone. Goes in pretty easily. On the outside, you'll see these bumpers along the top and then along the bottom. This is what Mous is calling air shock. So it's a bit of extra padding that they've added to the top and the bottom. So even if you drop your phone, it won't get damaged. On the outside, they've added a bit of grip. So on the left side, you can see that they've added a little bit of texturing here, so it's easier to hold. And along the bottom, they've added precise cutouts with enough space, so if you want to use a bigger or a thicker cable, you can. They've also added a bit of an extra lip around the camera as well as the screen, so your phone remains protected. Moving on to the buttons, they remain pretty clicky, and they've made some useful design choices. For example, the volume buttons are actually a rocker switch, which is a nice design touch. And then of course, there's the camera control. So if I double click here, I can actually swipe around pretty easily. It's a touch less responsive than just using the camera control button directly, but it is a capacitive button, so it'll transfer your touches and swipes to the camera control. One thing to note is that the camera control button is actually removable. Now, this is a bit of a double-edged sword, where on one hand, you can replace the button easily if it gets damaged, but on the other hand, it actually creates a weak point along the side of the case. So you'll see here, I'm easily able to bend it compared to the rest of the case. Now, if you have your phone in there, chances are that button's not going to come loose and it's going to stay solid. This case also does come with MagSafe. So here I have an Apple Wallet, and if I attach it to the back, it does hang on there. But I'd say the magnets are really weak compared to other cases that I've seen. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the build quality. Next up is the Magnetic Case from TineeOwl. Now, this is a brand that I came across on Amazon, and I wasn't really sure about it, but I got a lot of recommendations from the community, so I decided to give it a shot. So you can see here, I got it in this almost black colorway. It comes in this fantastic textured rubber finish, and it kind of reminds me of a stone texture. And you can see, even though I'm pressing my fingers against it, there's almost no fingerprints. On the bottom, you'll notice the TineeOwl logo, which is really subtle and baked into the case. The bumpers here have a decent amount of padding and are pretty even all the way around. And on the inside, they've gone with this soft touch texture, which kind of reminds me of like an Alcantara. So let's go ahead and add in a phone. The case has a good lip around it to protect the screen and cameras, but the cameras actually use a harder plastic, so there's less chance of damaging them. Along the outside, they've actually added a bit of texturing. They're kind of like small circles, so you don't really see them, but they are there when you're holding the phone. And along the bottom, you can see the precise cutouts with a good amount of space for like a thicker cable. Moving on to the buttons, they remain clicky, but require a little bit more pressure than compared to the case from Mous. One really cool thing that they've added is this rounded cover for the action button. I really like this because it makes it super easy to distinguish between the volume buttons and the action button, even if you're not looking at it. And then on the other side, there's the camera control. It is a capacitive button, so again, transfers your touches and swipes. When I'm using it, I'd say it's a touch slower than the case from Mous, but a pretty good feeling overall. This case also comes with MagSafe, and so again, with the Apple Wallet, if I attach it to the back, it's got slightly more grip than the Mous case, but I've seen stronger cases out there. Honestly, I didn't really know going into this what to expect, but I'm pretty impressed. All right, last but not least, it's everyone's favorite skins brand, Dbrand. Now, I've seen a ton of ads and videos on Dbrand, but never really tried out their products. So when they released their new iPhone 16 cases, I figured it was the right time to try them. So this is the grip case itself, and you can see it's made of a hard plastic. It's a pretty plain design with just the grip text underneath. And a lot of you are wondering now which skin that I got. So what I have here is the dark circuit skin. So I believe this was done in a collaboration with Linus Tech Tips. I really like the look of this skin. It's got these textures for all the circuitry, and if you turn it, you'll notice that it actually shines in the light. Getting back to the case, you'll notice that it's actually got a good amount of grip to it. Along the edges, you've got these really thick bumpers with these textured sort of edges. They're actually even finer than the one from TineeOwl, and that goes along the entire edge of the case. Now on the left side, you'll notice that there's these panels called grip strips. So that just makes it easier for you to hold the phone. And on the inside, they've used a soft touch material that will protect the back glass of your iPhone. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop in a phone here. So right off the bat, you can see the phone has a lot of rigidity to it. I like that the case has wider bumpers for the screen, and then on the back actually has a nice lip to protect the cameras. One thing that Dbrand added that I thought was really cool are these raised edges along the top. Because of the iPhone's camera bump, most cases, when you lay them flat on a surface, will wobble a little bit, but you can lay the Dbrand case flat and you can see, even with a bit of pressure, it doesn't move. On the bottom, you can also see the precise cutouts. They're not as wide as the case from Mous, but still pretty good overall. Moving to the buttons, you can see they've used two different textures for the volume buttons and the action button. And then on the other side, you can see they've used a completely different texture for the lock button. What is also unique on this case is how they've done the camera control. So it's still a capacitive button, but you can see they've used an entirely different texture for the button itself. So when I go to use it, it actually has a more satisfying click than the other two cases. And in terms of the responsiveness, yeah, definitely. It's super responsive. I can swipe so easily. I can click into different menus. It's really, really nice. As with the other cases, this one also comes with MagSafe. So if I take my Apple Wallet and I attach it to the back, this one actually has a lot more force, so the wallet stays in place, which is really nice to see. I really appreciate the build quality on this, and I really understand why the community loves this case so much. So if I had to pick a winner between these three cases, it would probably be the TineeOwl. What I like about it so much is the stone texture that they have on the outside, the use of subtle branding, and the fact that they have these tiny dots, which makes it easier to hold the phone. Beyond that, it's subtle details like the Alcantara on the inside of the case and that thicker plastic that they're using for the camera bump that I really like. Don't get me wrong, I think the case from Mous and Dbrand definitely has some solid features, but for me, this was the real winner. All right, that's it for this video. Leave me a comment down below on which one of these was your favorite case, or if you think there are some cases that I should check out. Don't forget to leave a like down below, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.